Hello, dear ones. Katie Sutton here, intuitive channel and founder of Zen Within Academy and the New Earth Now School with your October 2023 energy update. I've got 3 themes that I want to talk about with you this month. The first is finding balance. The second is let yourself be lifted. And the third is space to breathe. All right, everyone. So here we are in October. We are just coming off the heels of what I found to be very powerful equinox on 9/23/23 and a full moon, and we're moving right into October, and we have some eclipses coming this month, so it's going to be a really big month of change and shifts, okay? So it's important that you take some time to take good care of yourselves this month because there's a lot happening. All right, so let's dive in. Before I get into the 3 themes, one of the things that I just mentioned is that we're having 2 eclipses this month. Around the middle of October, and I think on the 28th of October, there's a 2-week window where we have a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. And I always talk about eclipses being big portals of change, big portals of us learning to do our shadow work and allowing cycles to complete. And it's interesting because the energies for this eclipse feel very different to me. I can't even quite put my finger on exactly what feels so different about it, but it does feel like we're going to be asked to really surrender and to really step into allowing change to happen with grace, allowing change to happen peacefully and easily, which feels very different than what I'm used to with eclipses, especially when we have our summer eclipses. When those happen, it seems to be really intense. I am not discounting that this may not be an intense portal of change for us, but I do think we are being ushered into a place where the guides and the teams that we're working with in the higher realms are asking us to really lean into the support that is offered by them and to allow ourselves to be guided through this portal. So let's talk about the 3 themes this month. So we are in Libra energy, especially at the beginning of the month, and Libra is all about balance. And so the first theme is finding balance. And when I was working on the themes and sitting with them and sitting with the energy, I went back and forth on the title of this because this idea of finding balance is so multifaceted. It really struck me at the equinox how we were doing some really big work on the balance of power and how we use power. And I think we're going to take that into October, but I also believe that we're going to be working on finding balance of where we're inwardly focused versus outwardly focused, where we're focused on our lighter aspects and our darker aspects, and where we can find balance in really aligning with the things that we value most and making sure that we're finding balance to make time for those. And so this month, it feels like this idea of how can you shift some things in how you're striking a balance in your own life. And this is very individual and very unique to each and every one of you because you all have different needs, you have different values, you have different wants. And so really tuning in this month to how can I bring greater balance to my life? What would it look like if there were some things that I could shift as we move into the eclipse window in the back half of the month? What is my intention of how I want to strike a greater balance in my life? Greater balance in taking care of yourself versus taking care of others, in your relationships, so many aspects of where you can find balance. I'm getting an image as I speak to you about this of the scales, right? How can we balance these scales out on our internal and external landscapes so that we have a more fulfilling life that we get to experience? Really take some time in the first 2 weeks of the month before we get into these eclipses to get clear on what you want to see change. Because when we get into these eclipse windows, we can really manifest amazing shifts very quickly, major timeline jumps. But if you're not really clear on what you want and what it's going to look like for you to find a greater balance in your life and setting those intentions leading into that, then it'll be harder for you to receive those things. Not impossible, but just harder, okay? So I also, as I am speaking to you about this, I'm getting an image of us being pulled in a river, in a flow, right? So these eclipses are going to be pulling energy out of our fields and pulling us through change, through a change portal, if you will. And so the more you are focused on staying balanced in how you're caring for yourself and how you're feeling in your body, the easier these portals of change can be. Okay, so really take time at the beginning of the month to find some balance and whatever that means to you. So let's talk about the second theme. So I really love this one. It feels really important for all of us to focus on this month. It is let yourself be lifted. Sometimes when we get into these big portals of change and these eclipse windows, we get right into the muck and the mire and the heaviness and the density, and we forget that there are all the other aspects of light, right, that are available to us, of ease and of grace that are available to us. And so this theme of let yourself be lifted is really allowing yourself, if things get stirred up for you this month, if you're feeling like you're going through a difficult time, a difficult portal of change, then allow your team, your helpers, your guides, God, Creator, Source, Mother Earth, whatever it is that you believe in, to come in and begin to lift you up out of these old, dense energies. When we get into these eclipse portals, it's often about clearing many lifetimes of density and many generations of density. And so it's a great idea to be asking for help early and often. If you find yourself struggling, allow yourself to be lifted out of that density. This is not spiritual bypassing, right? This is still feeling whatever you need to feel, but allowing yourself to be lifted out of that density so that you're not suffering, so that you're not feeling stuck, so that you're not feeling like you're in a loop of experiencing that trauma over again. Allow yourself to be lifted, right? When we go through these portals of change and these eclipses, we often have a lot of taxing on our nervous systems and our physical bodies. So taking time to find that balance and asking for help so that you can be supported as you move through these big changes that I think are going to start to really activate for a lot of us this month is really important, okay? Time in nature is also very valuable as we move into these eclipse windows. That's going to help you to balance things so that you can be lifted out of these energies. So let Mother Earth lift you out of these energies as well, okay? This is also a time to really focus on what it is that you value in relationship and how can you tune into and lean into those relationships to empower you, to help you to be lifted out of any fear that you may be experiencing. When things are changing, sometimes things are falling away and we can get stuck in the fear of what might happen, in the worry loops and the anxiety loops. So I'm sure that many of you have people or things in your life that really uplift you. This is a month to tune into those energies and to allow them to help you to open your heart space. When we're going through these change portals, we often are getting a big clearing in our heart space, in what we believe we can have, in our worthiness. And so allow yourself to lean into the things that make you happy so that you can be lifted out of these dense energies and they can just begin to fall away, okay? And so that takes me to our third theme, which we'll be working on in Healing Circle on the 11th of October at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, if you'd like to join us and work on this theme together as a group. It is called Space to Breathe. This has been coming in. It started to come in at the end of September. I made a little short video about it last week, where I'm really being guided in all of my sessions with folks to help them take up greater space in their energy body and to allow their energy body to expand. So there's some very practical reasons why this theme, Space to Breathe, is coming in when we're going through an eclipse portal, okay? So if you think of your energy field, it needs to be open and flowing. And the greater space that you have in your energy field, the more easily when you're going through something difficult, energy can just flow through that channel. And so I want you to think of this theme as allowing you to have a bit more space in your energy body, a bit more space in your field, so that when things are hard, you have a bit more resiliency and a bit more feeling of being supported in those hard things. It's that juxtaposition of something amazing is happening and something hard is happening at the same time. And can I hold both? And the more space that you have to breathe in your energy field, in your energy body, the easier these these portals become, because things are going to get stirred up. But if you are constricted in your center channel, if you are constricted in your chakra column, if you are constricted in your energy body, when those things get stirred up, they get stuck, right? Just like a clogged pipe. So we want to expand the space that we are taking up in our energy body. And this is also going to give us more space to breathe when we're getting to a place where maybe we're getting overwhelmed by all the things that are happening in our lives and we're feeling a little suffocated. This theme is going to allow us to learn how to open up our energy body a little bit more, so that when those challenging things are happening, we still have enough room to breathe, enough capacity, feeling very resourced in our energy body. I also just want to speak to something that my guides were showing me about this theme. When we're going through hard things, when we're getting triggered, when our trauma's getting triggered, often what happens is we pull our energy body in and we shut our chakra column down and we tuck our tail between our legs. And that is a trauma response, right? Many of us have been doing this since childhood, especially if you're like me and you're a highly sensitive person and an empath. You have learned to pull that energy field in really close. But what happens is when you do that, it actually has the opposite effect, because you limit the flow in your field, and then you start to feel like you're suffocating and that you're freaking out, right? Like you start to freak out about all the things that are happening. So when we open our energy body and we allow ourselves to expand, to land and expand, to root deeply into the earth, root deeply into source, and allow our energy body to open up, we give ourselves some space so that we can release that anxiety and that fear that sometimes gets triggered when we pull our energy field in really closely. It's okay if you get triggered and you pull your energy body in, but the idea is to be resilient and open it back up, right? Because when your field is open, it's easier for you to receive all of the blessings that are coming your way and all of the love and support that is coming your way. If you don't make space for it, you can't receive it. So that's really the essence of this theme. And in the healing circle, we're going to be working on the mechanics of our energy body and those above and those below poles, the positive pole at the top, the negative pole at the bottom, as well as the energy field, and creating more space for all of you to be able to receive more light, right? Because what happens in these energy portals, especially we have the solar eclipse that comes in, which is a light activation, and then we have the lunar eclipse that comes in, which is a dark activation, and all of this big energy is coming onto our planet. We are being activated. But if your field is not open, your nervous system perceives that energy as a threat, and then we go into fight or flight mode and we shut down sometimes. So this idea of opening our energy body up, it just makes everything easier, right? It just makes everything lighter. It just gives you more flow so that as you are moving through things, you have that greater degree of resiliency. So that's what we're going to be focused on in Healing Circle this month. And we're going to really be giving you some very specific tips and tricks to do this even when you're triggered. And we're going to be talking about how you can have your field open to a certain degree and playing with where that balance is for you. So we're back to that balance word, where that balance is for you of how open you want your field to be versus how closed, and what is the right amount for you to feel safe and secure in your being. So that's what we'll be working on with this theme. But for all of you, regardless of whether or not you join this healing circle with me this month, just focus on taking some time out every day to breathe and imagine your field expanding, right? Give yourself some space, because if you're going through some hard times and there's some big things happening for you, a lot of change going on, and you pull your field in, it's going to add to the anxiety and the stress. We want that energy body to be open and flowing, okay? Flow is really important this month, as always. Okay, so those are the 3 themes of the month. It is shaping up, I think, to be a big one. I do think that we are all going to look back at October and be like, something major shifted for me that month, okay? So just notice what's happening for you this month and stay really present, stay really grounded, take good care of your bodies, don't overtax yourselves, stay in balance, okay, my friends? Such a pleasure to share this information with you. I hope I get to see you in an online healing circle soon so that you can do some deeper work with me. I've also got session openings starting in January. I'm booked up until January, but you can get on my calendar. And for those of you in Charlotte, I've got a couple of spots left in my Fully Resourced Woman mini retreat. If you'd like to join me for that, more details below this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my weekly videos. There's some exciting things coming this fall that you're going to get to start to see more of that I'm going to be putting out very soon. So stay tuned, and I hope you all have a great month. Bye-bye, everyone.